All right, let's move on to this story now. The Minerals Council of South Africa says the controversy over the Expropriation Act actually requires a measured response from the country. It, of course, follows from US President Donald Trump's threats over what he calls a land grab policy. Minerals Council South Africa's CEO, that's Mzila Mthenjane, was speaking to business editor Xolani Mbanjwa on the sidelines of the Investing in Africa mining Indaba.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. US President Donald Trump, a lot to talk about there from his comments about South Africa and the words he used when it comes to the land issue, something that has been talked about by various political parties. South Africa exports almost 100% of its chromium to the US. South Africa also exports 25% of platinum and other minerals to the US. AGOA is still in the air. Listening to Donald Trump's comments, as the industry, what goes through your minds about any concerns you might have or how South Africa should respond in order to protect sectors like mining?
From a mining sector perspective, and certainly how South Africa should be responding to some of the more recent pronouncements that he's made, I think we really do need to keep a calm head. And we've always been a country that believes in engagement and dialogue. I would probably describe it as, in some instances, shooting from the hip. I think we should be measured in our response and be clear in terms of the importance of the relationship between South Africa and America. Not to take away the urgency of needing to respond. I think we must respond quickly, but it must really be with cool heads and taking a long-term view in terms of, at the end of the day, what's in it for South Africa and America to continue to trade between each other. And I think it's also worth mentioning the fact that, we'll be we've taken presidency of the G20 for this year, and we're going to be handing that over to America. So I think good relationships between America and South Africa have always been there, and we do need to maintain them going forward for the betterment of the continent and the country.
The Expropriation Act, as we know it, is the issue that has reared its head again when it comes to the comments of the US president. Do you think he misinterpreted what it's all about?
Well, the Expropriation Act is not anything new to South Africa. We've always had an Expropriation Act. And I think the response that we've seen from President Trump may, to a degree, perhaps be misinformed. And so it's an opportunity to really explain in terms of what are we wanting to achieve when it comes to expropriation. And also in other conversations, we've heard how important it is to have an instrument such as this in order to enable development for the benefit of the public. And so the new act is really making provisions that the process that is undertaken is fair and is transparent and provides for appropriate compensation where such compensation is due. So we were all nervous about the act, but I think as we begin to understand it better, we see it being implemented and how in the event of a dispute, those disputes are managed. I think we'll probably grow more comfortably with it.
It's something that is important to note that this gathering is an important one because minerals are in everything that we use on a daily basis. The minerals on the African continent are needed on cell phones, electric cars, solar panels, and this is what this gathering is about, to make sure that there is beneficiation and African countries benefit the most when it comes to the mineral wealth under its soil. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Xolani Mbanjwa in Cape Town.